Here's the Rockola 456 jukebox. It's been a month or two since I've used the jukebox, and I wanted to play it again, but I needed to do some contact cleaning. The problem was that the turntable motor would just run and it would never enter the scan cycle again after playing a record. And I tracked the problem down to these contacts here. What I did was to saturate a business card with deoxit and then slide that down between the contact fingers and the printed circuit board. You notice all the oxidation that was on there.
There's something a problem with the internet.
Now that I've got the contacts clean, I'm going to demonstrate the 33 1/3 RPM playback feature. Here's a record that I got at the auction a few weeks ago, and it's an advertisement for Avon perfume, and it's got a really late 70s sounding soundtrack to it, almost like something you hear on Dynasty or Dallas. But it's called Flight to Fantasy, and it's about making your fantasies come true through the sales of Avon perfume. And I'll go ahead and program it in here. What's going to happen is that the 33 RPM record is going to set down on these red detection fingers here, and what they're going to do is they're going to enable this connecting rod here to pull back the, let me take the turntable off and I can show more clearly. This connecting rod here supplies power to move the idler wheel up onto the smaller portion of the motor shaft for 33 1/3 RPM operation. I'm going to do a little more cleaning here eventually. I just lubed it up with some Zoom spout just for an initial test. But I'll go ahead now and put the camera on the tripod. Hopefully everything will work on this. And I'll select the 33 1/3 RPM record. Looks like we've got a bit of a problem there. The problem I was having was that the mechanism was getting jammed when it was playing the second side of the record. So let me take the turntable off and clear that jam. I think I may just need to degrease it some more, but I'm going to take the turntable off and see if I can get it unjammed.
Who will wear the new fantasy fragrance? Every woman who has ever dreamed. That's why every woman in your territory must have an inch of the fantasy fragrance to experience. Then she won't dream.
Now you'll notice that when it goes back, it's going to pop up. So what was happening there was the speed change mechanism jammed. I've got the other side of the record programmed in, so hopefully that side will work normally.
Dreams, desires, fantasies, they're part of every woman's life. Now Avon has captured their ever-changing variety in a fragrance of lingering enchantment. At your Campaign 22 sales meeting, you'll hear about the most fantastic fragrance launch ever. There, and only there, you'll learn that your dreams, desires, and fantasies really can come true. Who will wear the new fantasy fragrance? I'll tell you on the other side of this record. But first, sit back and listen to the music inspired by the fragrance. Music as fanciful, as unexpected, as the dreams, desires, and fantasies that drift through your mind. Turn the record over now. On the other side, I'll tell you who will wear the new Fantasy fragrance.
Okay, now I'm going to program inside too, and hopefully this time it'll work. Just needs to get to the lead out groove here. Well, I'll just go ahead and put the needle over so it'll detect it. See, now the detection fingers pop back up on the turntable. Let's see if it'll play side 2 okay. I was having a little trouble before. Okay, that's good.
Who will wear the new Fantasy fragrance? Every woman who has ever dreamed. That's why every woman in your territory must have an inch of the Fantasy fragrance to experience. Then she won't dream of being without it. It's that beautiful, that alluring, that fantastic. Your dreams are just beginning. They can come true. Make them come true. Begin by ordering enough inches of the new Fantasy fragrance now on your Campaign 21 purchase order. Every inch of the Fantasy fragrance brings your dream closer to fantastic reality.
Here's the record jacket. Here's the rear of it. This is from 1979. So there's the 33 1/3 RPM playback. I think this solution was a lot easier than like on Seeburg's, where you have an auto speed generator that actually varies the frequency going to the motor. This is the kind of system that RAW AMIs would have used. Also, I think that Wurlitzer, trying to think of how Wurlitzer did it. I think Wurlitzer also had a system on their turntables that could detect the presence of the 33 RPM record, and I think it might have used a solenoid to shift the mechanism to a different motor drive shaft step to get the 33 RPM speed. But there's the Rockola 33 RPM playback.